Hello everybody, Fantasticairy here, back with another video. In my last week's video, I actually got a lot of great feedback on the process of how I tackled the technique for the colorful grassy patches. So I figured I'd create a tutorial for you guys. It won't be a super long video as this technique is pretty simple, but again, I will break those steps down for you guys. Let's create some fantastical watercolor paintings. Another page of colorful grassy patches together. The paper I will be using is actually a sketchbook, the Hahnemuhle Watercolour Book, cold pressed, 200 gm, 95 pounds. It's about 5.5 by 5.5 inches, 60 pages, front and back, non-aging, non-acid, if you're curious on which paper I'm using. I'll be using two brushes for this tutorial, my fine liner, number 1, and my angular shader brush, 1/4 inch. You can use any paintbrushes you want, but for me, I prefer to use my smaller paintbrushes for these smaller little illustrations. The paints I will be using are the Winsor Newton Cotman color paints. This is the 24 travel set, but we're only going to be using a few of these colors today. That includes the colors you see here. We got the vermilion green on the left, on the top right corner, the sap green, in the middle is our cadmium yellow, on the left is the sienna brown, and on the right is going to be lamp black, as well as some red and some blue. You can use any colors you see fit. Okay, onto the tutorial process of this painting. First, we're going to lay down our lightest color, our lightest value of the sap green using the wet on wet technique. I'm using just enough water that it keeps the patch of grass wet enough so that it doesn't dry too fast so I can add in the other colors. For now, I'm just going to create the overall shape of this grass. You can get really just random and creative with it, kind of just keep it loose, organic, and simple. And if you want, you can leave some little white patches in between. Now that we got our green down, I'm going to start mixing in some brown. I'm just going to let the paint do its thing and kind of blend together naturally. And then adding in a little bit of a saturated green just to give it a little bit more pop. And then some yellow, a little bit more interesting in the center. I add in some more droplets of water just to get that paint to spread. And then what I did is I also took a little bit of blue when it was still wet to add into this patch of grass. It kind of gives it like there's a little bit of pools of water sitting on top. So you can also add that in if you feel like it. After everything's all dry, you can kind of see the cool different textures and how the paint dries. It's super satisfying. And that's one of the main reasons I love watercolor so much. It's unpredictably fantastical. A lot of the paint you're going to add is going to dry lighter, so don't worry if it looks too dark when it's still wet. Now that we got our patch of grass composition laid out, we're going to start adding in lighter tones of grass. I'm taking my fine liner this time and just wistfully flicking in some little blades of lighter colored value grass. This is the sap green with more water added to it. I'm also making sure that I'm keeping the composition in mind. The goal is to have a certain section of the grass where the eye is drawn to, but not to make it look too even, keep it random and organic, and just kind of go with it. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. So just kind of have fun with this. I'm keeping these blades of grass quite short, but you can make them longer if you want. These are the lighter ones, so these are more of the kind of the background grass. Now that I got a lighter tone of grass in the background, I'm going to start adding in a little bit of a darker value. This is a sap green with a little mix of brown in it. I'm just going to go over top of some of the lighter grass. I'm also going to just kind of randomly place this grass around too. And then I took my vermilion green, mixed it with a little bit of sap green and some more brown, creating this darker green, in which I'm going to start layering onto this patch of grass. You really got to think working from light to dark when it comes to watercolors. When you're painting a layered painting, you kind of have a plan in your head, a step-by-step process in how you're going to layer the painting. Like for this grass, we have a very light value for the patch of grass itself, going over top with the blades of grass a little bit darker each time. Alright, so we have our basic grass painted in, and so far, so good. Things are looking quite fun. We gotta love those colors, very vibrant. Even some of the grass looks very see-through, and that's actually kind of cool. It adds to the stylistic, conceptual feel of this painting. As our goal is not to make this painting look super realistic. We're going for more of an imaginative look. Now we're just layering on some darker contrasted values. Taking that same green that I had mixed with sap and vermilion and sienna brown, adding in a little bit of the lamp black to get it just a little bit darker. This is the fun part where you can go in with details. The amount of endless details with these patches of grass is so much fun. And as you can see, I'm leaving some spots with no grass in them. You don't want the painting to look too busy. And of course, you can add in some different colors to grass too, like brown or red. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the final reveal with some music, and then I'll see you at the end for our final result. And here's our final result. I filled my whole sketchbook page with patches of grass. You can just do one, you can do many, you can do larger, you can do smaller. It's completely up to you. The process of this technique is so fun. I'm excited to keep learning this technique. The more you do it, the more you become familiar with it, and it's just so fun. And the more you understand it too. Watercolor is very loose, organic, unpredictable at times, and that's what makes it so much fun. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Comment below if you've been painting some colorful patchy grasses. Videos are every Friday. You can find all my links to my social media in the description of the video below, as well as my imprint shop, where you can purchase prints and mini prints and stickers of the artwork I've done thus far. My personal favorite are the mini prints. They look so cute with their little wooden block. You can also purchase my full illustrations there, like the Watchful. Alright guys, I will see you next week. Thank you so much for watching again. Please have fun painting with watercolor or whatever your medium is. And remember, it's always going to be a journey. Okay, bye-bye!